Happy 9/11, everyone. No, wait, no, that's not how I'm starting this. 9/11, remember that thing? Yeah, it was pretty bad. It affected a lot of people. But what matters more than people? TV shows, that's right. And 9/11 actually affected a lot of TV shows, and that's what we're talking about here today. TV shows that were affected by 9/11, okay? Let's get into it. You saw the title. Here we go. My cat just knocked over my little backlight. Come on.
Hey guys, I know I didn't get this uploaded by September 11th. I got it up before the end of September at least, so that's nice. Please watch it though. It's still a really interesting video, and I like filming stuff like Dogpack 404.
Most Americans know that after the tragedy that happened on September 11th, 2001, things like late night shows were heavily affected. The hosts usually have their shows in New York, and they were sad. But I gotta be real with you, I don't watch late night shows, okay? What am I, an adult? No, okay, I'm a kid. I watch TV shows. And you know, I was shocked to find out, you know what, I gotta take my hat off for this. This is serious. I was shocked to find out how some of these TV shows were affected after the event. The event. I make it sound like this attack was planned on Facebook or something. But yeah, apparently the Never Forget Day had an impact on shows like SpongeBob SquarePants, Sesame Street. Come on, Sesame Street? Even 101 Dalmatians, the series, okay? That was my show. Don't you dare mess with 101 Dalmatians, the series. I'm kidding, that actually was not my show. I didn't even really care for the movies too much. It's like the whole premise is just there's a lot of dogs. I don't even think I've seen one Dalmatian in real life. I mean, I guess that's an odd premise for a movie. Why are there so many of the one dog in a room? Okay, but that's besides the point. How it did affect that show is actually quite interesting. Now, some shows were affected pretty minorly, like it was just changing the intro credit sequence because it included the Twin Towers, and that needed to be altered. The Sopranos opening had the Twin Towers shown in Tony Soprano's rear view mirror, and that had to be swapped out. Law & Order SVU takes place in New York, and that opening sequence shows like a lot of different New York places. Of course, gotta show the towers. Not anymore though. SNL, gotta remove those Twin Towers. But then we put a shot of the American flag, because freedom. And Sex and the City. You know what city that sex is in? New York, baby, okay? And Sarah Jessica Parker, yeah, her name was put over the World Trade Center. Yeah, we just swapped it out with the Empire State Building. And just thinking about it now, is it bad to say that it almost seems like you're giving it to them? Like they took down the World Trade Center, and now we have to go and remove it from all these intros? I don't know, I guess you don't want family members of the victims, people affected by it to, you know, be thinking about that tragedy while they're just trying to watch some Sex in the City, some SNL. I mean, SNL is a tragedy in its own right, but it's a whole nother video. I don't know, the phrase with September 11th though is never forget. And yet we keep removing the Twin Towers from all these intros. Okay, how am I supposed to remember? You guys aren't reminding me. Also, if you could only remember one historical event, which one are you picking? 9/11 or the Alamo? There's a brain teaser for you. No, I'm kidding. I'm picking 9/11, okay? Like atrocious mass death of civilians versus a bunch of Texans being killed in war. And one of them's like known for wearing a goofy like raccoon cap. What are you, Tanuki Mario, dude? Daniel Boone. Was he just like an old Texan furry, maybe? That's my headcanon now. What am I even talking about?
9/11.
But aside from just changing out a clip in an intro sequence, many other TV shows had to make changes due to 9/11. Although the lamest one on this list, I'm just reading Wikipedia here. Well, I'm not reading it, I'm changing the words into my own words, right? Get around turnitin.com or whatever teachers use today to check for copyright. But on this Wikipedia list of shows affected by 9/11, okay, it includes Lizzie McGuire, because you can see in their outtakes that for season 2, they put an American flag on the clapboard to show respect. Are you guys just wanting attention? Like, I mean, cool, you bought a sticker pack from the dollar store, but like, we're supposed to give you points for that? You weren't really affected by it. Oh, who put the sticker on the clapperboard? I remember after 9/11, we were all so different. Seeing that American flag on the clapperboard. Get out of here, Lizzie McGuire, with your big red ball intro. I always wanted a big red ball like that. If you can't tell, I was one of those kids who would go to Walmart and then always play with a ball whenever I found that big ball jail cell thing. You can play with it until your parent yells at you. Then you gotta put it back, or just like roll it into the nearest aisle. But enough about me. Let's talk about Power Rangers Time Force. Ever heard of it? Actually, no, I had not. There's so many Power Ranger series I didn't know about Time Force. But apparently it was affected by 9/11 because 13 of the first 30 episodes had to have scenes altered due to them resembling the events. And by resembling the events, they just mean that there was like buildings destroyed and fires going on. Like, I watched a few of these episodes and I don't think New York City during all of this tragedy had like alien characters strutting through the streets. I mean, I wasn't there. Maybe they did, but I don't think that's what happened.
Gotcha.
Like, it's Power Rangers, though. Come on. At the end of every episode, they, like, do the slow motion walk away from some giant thing that explodes. Is just an explosion gonna remind you? Yes, in fact, yes, actually. An explosion will apparently remind people of it. Because with King of the Hill, the episodes Propane Boom and Death of a Salesman, which are the Season 2 last episode and Season 3 first episode, were pulled from syndication because the Megalomart, their version of Walmart, explodes. To be fair with this one, they didn't really go overboard since it was only pulled from syndication for the month of September. Alright, that's fine. Are you coming in? My cat wants to be let in, okay? But I'm trying to talk about 9/11 cartoons. What are you doing? Invader Zim was also slightly affected in this way. In their episode Door to Door, an episode where Zim has to go around selling chocolate bars door to door, and he uses it as a way to cause chaos and take over the city, this episode was actually delayed from airing due to scenes depicting the city on fire and destroyed. The edited version depicting the fire got put out on DVD, but apparently Australia got the unedited version. They were like, hey, yo, mates, we don't give a shit. Show us the destruction. We don't care. It didn't happen to us. Throw a shrimp on the barbie, hop in a kangaroo pouch, and go for a lift. That's other Australian things. Crikey. I did find the unedited version right here. That's what you're seeing, probably on screen right now as I'm talking. I don't know. Seems like a little bit of a stretch in my opinion, but whatever. A Nick's gotta do what a Nick's gotta do. The Amazing Race, where a bunch of duos of people run around and do challenges in different cities to try to win some prize. Apparently the show just started around this time, and the second episode was supposed to air on September 12th, but it got pushed a week. Yeah, that's it. Do you think there was one guy who really enjoyed the pilot of The Amazing Race and was so looking forward to the second episode? So after 9/11, they're just waiting on the 12th to watch it. They find out it's delayed. Like, come on, can bad stuff quit happening? I don't know what's worse. Just kidding. I know what's worse, okay? Okay, calm down. Show that clip to your grandpa, though, okay? I'm sure he'll have an aneurysm. Oh, and I was wrong earlier. I said SpongeBob was affected by Norna Larvin, but actually, it kind of wasn't. See, in the episode Just One Bite, the one where Squidward gets obsessed with Krabby Patties, you know? It'll go straight to his thighs and then he blows up.
Chat, this is a rare cat sighting.
It's not the blowing up part. Although now that I'm thinking about it, I mean, if just destruction and fire is causing people to panic like that, how did we not think Squidward tentacles exploding with Krabby Patties going everywhere? Come on, how is that not triggering? Apparently in the original version of the episode, and yes, I said the original version, there's a cut scene from the SpongeBob episode. When Squidward is breaking into the Krusty Krab to go to the Krabby Patty vault, he has to get by the Krusty Krab security, which is a bucket of gasoline above the door with a robot hand that comes in and drops a match and explodes. Now the scene was cut and replaced in the initial broadcast with just a quick zoom-in shot to the Patty Vault and then Squidward walks there. But somehow the original scene got released and is now just circulated on the internet. Plot twist though, it wasn't even removed because of 9/11. You see, Nickelodeon, being the absolute wimps that they are, removed it because apparently teaching kids that holding matches next to buckets of gasoline when you're trying to break into the Krabby Patty Vault isn't a great thing to teach them. I thought we lived in America. And this was confirmed by Vincent Waller, someone part of the SpongeBob staff. I forget what he did. I've seen his name in the credits a bunch though. It was confirmed by him in 2018 on Twitter. And now we're getting into the juicy ones. Starting easy and going into the more extreme cases. Malcolm in the Middle, the episode Malcolm's Girlfriend, had a subplot where the older brother Francis took refuge with a mad bomber. Yeah, after the attacks that was reshot, they replaced that. Instead it became a subplot about Francis in an Alaskan prison with a live soap opera. Because the writers writers probably said, all right, what cannot possibly happen to make us have to rewrite this again? Would have been wild if we just heard about like 36 people taken prisoner in Alaska, having to witness a live soap opera. The Simpsons also got hit, not like the Towers, like how these shows have been hit, with the episode The City of New York versus Homer Simpson, which had premiered 4 years before 9/11 took place, but it has Homer and his family going to New York, and Homer spends a good amount of scenes in the World Trade Center, so it got pulled from syndication for a while. It was back on the air in 2006, because, I don't know, a bit of an odd time to choose to return it. It's been 5 years, really. Like, why 2006? When someone says too soon, when you say, like, an inappropriate joke, is that what they mean? Is it hasn't been 5 years? Then why not? We just talked about The Simpsons. Good thing I can't sing. I might have got copyright struck for music. Let's talk about Family Guy.
9/11 was bad.
Because in the episode Road to Rhode Island, the first of the Stewie Brian adventure musical episodes, there was a moment where Osama bin Laden distracts the TSA security while some weapons and other bad items get through the X-ray machine. X-ray. I forgot the word X-ray. X-ray also sounds like it should be an evil invention, right? X means like eliminated and bad. Ray, you know, it sounds like a Doofenshmirtz thing. The X-Ray-inator. Now, this episode had aired a year before the attacks happened, but the scene was still cut out of the episode and not included in their first season 1 DVD, volume 1 DVD, whatever. Although they did include it in their The Freakin' Sweet Collection DVD, because, you know, that's freaking sweet. Married with Children, a sitcom that my dad showed me episodes of before, has an episode called Get Out of Dodge, where two Arab men with a ticking bomb come to buy Al, the main character's car, his Dodge, in Get Out of Dodge, you know, it's a pun, for $40, and they ask for directions to Sears Tower.
We've no time to haggle. We want car and directions to Sears Tower. Bruh.
That's all the information that's in this Wikipedia article. It's not saying how it was affected. Did it get changed? Or they just wanted to point that out, like, hey, they kind of predicted it? I don't know. Why are they bringing this up? It says TV shows affected by it, but I don't get how that was affected by it. Was this written after, maybe? Hold on. Get out of Dodge. Air date. No. 1994. So, did we remove it from like the DVD or something? I don't know. Wikipedia, come on. I trusted you, okay? My English teachers never told me to, but I trusted you. You've messed everything up. You know what? Miss Essingman was right about you. And I'm sure you remember the episode of Friends, the one where Rachel tells... Because I don't. I was not a Friends guy. I didn't watch any Friends. Never got the appeal. Looked like a fine cast, just not my cup of tea. A cup of coffee, right? They got that coffee place there. I don't know. I just see it on merchandise everywhere, okay? It's in like Five Below from Walmart. You cannot escape Friends. Anyway, in this episode, Chandler and a little bit of Monica in my life could not get on their flight because Chandler had made a joke about there being a bomb in the airport.
Hey, look at that. Federal law prohibits any joking regarding aircraft hijacking or bombing. You don't have to worry about me, ma'am. I take my bombs very seriously.
Sir, you want to come with us?
And this did air in 2001, so a little on the nose for a comedy show, right on the nose of the plane. So yeah, the story was rewritten and reshot. I like how all these things get redone, yet somehow they get leaked, or maybe they're just like DVD extras. Whatever, you paid for our DVD, we'll give you the stuff that we felt like was inappropriate for the American public. Because you know what wins out always over righteousness and dignity? Capitalism. The American way. Now this next one has to be the weirdest motherfucking band episode based off 9/11. Yeah, we're talking about 101 Dalmatians, the series now. The episode Alive and Chicken. Alive and Chicken, okay? It sounds so sweet. What did they do? I'll tell you. It was pulled from circulation due to a scene centering around Spot Chicken. That's this little doofus here that needs to be pumped up with some of those McDonald's hormones, if you ask me. Spot Chicken, this flat fuck, flies a contraption into a windmill with the Dalmatians on top of it that causes the dogs to fall into a sack of flour. What? This is a banned episode here, just for this reason. Spot Chicken didn't hijack a Boeing, okay? There wasn't even any fire. It's a silly kids cartoon, come on. But the kids who were watching it didn't even know, could not comprehend the events that had took place. What's even worse is these shows are always put in pairs, so not even just Alive and Chicken was affected, but also the paired episode with it, Prima Doggy. Prima Doggy? It's adorable. And they weren't just banned for a week. They weren't just banned for 5 years. They were banned until June of 2020. A little over 4 years ago is when these episodes finally came to light again, thanks to Disney Plus. That's gonna be the only reason I'm subscribing to Disney Plus, just to watch Alive and Chicken, okay? You think terrorism is foul? Okay, this foul is terrorism. Wait, foul... That's like ducks, right? That's not chickens? Yeah, I think it's ducks, actually. We have this anti-smoking PSA in Texas. I've recently found out it's only in Texas, too, called Tobacco is Foul, with like this cartoon duck guy. The animation was kind of weird and gross, but you know, I think it was supposed to represent tobacco. The duck was cool as shit, though. I fuck with that duck.
Tobacco is foul.
Tobacco is foul. But apparently terrorism is not foul, it's chicken. Terrorism can suck my cock-a-doodle-doo. How about that? That one work? 9... 10, 11, I don't know. I'll workshop it. I'll get back to you guys. I just cannot believe that this, of all things, was banned for 19 years. A little under 19 years. There's got to have been a kid out there who watched that episode, loved the series, went to rewatch it, and just never saw, like, their favorite episode. All their friends think they're lying. They're saying Mandela effect. Oh, you're full of horse shit, Timmy. You didn't see an episode with a chicken and flying a plane, making dogs fall into a sack of flour. And whatever Prima Doggy was about. Now he's just a married man who's having to ring up all his old elementary school buddies to be like, go on Disney Plus right now. Go look at it. You guys called me a horse shitter or whatever. Yeah, who's right now? They're on the other line like, dude, don't you have kids? 101 Dalmatians, the series was definitely the worst victim for TV shows from 9/11. But there's still one more show we're going to talk about, and that is the most based out of this world awesome show for doing what they did. Sesame Street. That's right, Sesame Street. Because they didn't remove anything because of 9/11. They added stuff. They said, whoa, 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 wa. National tragedy. baby, we got to address this to the kiddos. No, they did not have an episode. I made it sound like they had an episode about the events. No, okay, they didn't address it directly like that. But they did have the first episode of season 3, which was the next season that aired after 9/11. Be Elmo Visits the Firehouse, in which Elmo witnesses a grease fire happen at the guy's... What the hell's the guy's name? What's his name? I can't find his name. Hooper's store. And Elmo straight up gets traumatized, okay? He's shook. He's done. He's out of the game. He cannot take what has happened. Until he meets some firefighters and trauma bonds with them, and he gets over it, learns it's not so bad because we got firefighters.
Elmo was scared before, but Elmo isn't scared anymore.
But no, real talk, that's pretty awesome that they wanted to show kids how to deal with processing a tragedy and grief, being mentally and emotionally affected by something to the point where you can't stop thinking about it. Now, sure, it's just a kid's puppet show, so, it's pretty easy for Elmo to get over it. I just like how they tackle social issues. There was even one that they added in where Big Bird has a seagull pen pal who comes to visit him on Sesame Street, and the seagull is like a bird supremacist, okay? He's straight up xenophobic to any other species, thinks birds shouldn't have anything to do with them, especially that dirty damn Snuffleupagus.
In my neighborhood, birds only play with birds, so I'm not playing with a Snuffleupagus.
Now, like, fine, Snuffleupagus, he's a freak of nature, he's disgusting, that's fair, but, like, not because he's not a bird, it's because he's whatever he is. God didn't make that. Snuffleupagus, he's a demon spawn, okay? Actually, I don't know, angels are, like, depicted in the creepiest of ways, like big eyes, like balls of eyes. The realistic depictions of angels terrify me, too. Snuffleupagus terrifies me. Maybe Snuffy's an angel. Either way, Big Bird has to show his big bigoted bird friend, that was off the top of my dome, how to overcome his bigotry. Big bird bigotry, big bird bigotry, big bird bigotry. Okay, that is fun to say. Pretty cool how Sesame Street showed the moral of not judging people just because they're different than you, or birds. Although Big Bird, you were pen pals with this guy, okay? How did you not pick up on any of that in any of your letters, okay? You invited him to stay with you, and he didn't mention anything about his bird supremacy. And Big Bird, why are you just a guy in a big bird suit, okay? That is horrifying to think about. I don't know what's scarier, to think about the man in the Big Bird suit or Snuffleupagus. Big Bird straight up has been inserted with those McDonald's hormones. At least if the zombie apocalypse happens in Sesame Street, you know who they're eating first. Got the most meat, he'll taste good. But yeah, that's all the shows that were affected by today. Hopefully I'm getting this out on 9/11. I mean, there was a couple more that I didn't mention, like the absolutely fabulous episode Paris. I don't know this show. The episode Paris had a joke about the Taliban's destruction of the Buddhas of Bamyan. This whole sentence I read just seemed like AI came up with stuff. I'm widely uncultured. I won't try to deny that.
Look at that Buddha, sweetheart. Look at that Buddha. Better not let the Taliban know it's here.
That episode, though, was removed from the original broadcast. However, it got put out on home media. If there's any absolutely fabulous fans watching this. And the show Only Fools and Horses had an episode, The Sky's the Limit, that was temporarily removed from repeat showings due to the final scene showing a plane nearly crashing into Nelson Mandela House. Is that a fraternity? Was it supposed to be Nelson Mandela's house? I don't know. I didn't watch Only Fools and Horses. I don't know what that is, so Nelson Mandela House, I guess that's a place. I also thought Lilo and Stitch was going to be mentioned, but I guess that happened in the movie. There's a scene in the movie where a bunch of the characters hijack a Boeing plane to chase after another spaceship. Don't literally hijack a Boeing. I mean, especially, like, now let's not make jokes about it, okay? Apparently Boeing will send a guy after you. Nani has to make a video like, I do not want to unalive myself. Pleakley would totally whistle blow on Boeing. And if you agree that Pleakley would whistle blow on Boeing, please like this video for me. No, I'm kidding. If you enjoyed this run through of shows affected by the horrible tragedy that happened 23 years ago. I'm filming this late. Can you give me a break? Technically, it's early. It's actually 9/11 right now. Just like this damn video, okay? I worked hard on it. I stayed up late for it. It's good to be back, by the way. I know it's been a long time, so expect more content from me soon. I'm back, baby. Although I'm gonna be gone now because it's the end of the video. Peace.